This is Rob Consu of Radio ITG, and already match is beginning 20 seconds into the Fire Isle Game 1 of the Winterfest Championships Series Grand Finals. It is PeaceAndHarmony versus TheCelebrities. I believe PeaceAndHarmony was the third-ranked team, if I'm not mistaken. And Celebrities, of course, is the top-ranked team. And both of these guilds are known for what is called the Euro Spike, which is pretty much a whole lot of Dervish protection and some Spiritual Pain, Warstrol's Demise spiking, which we see go off right there on Wise of TheCelebrities. That was a Warstrol's Pain coming off of Claws right there. Some demo action on him, and then a little bit of Paragon Flaming down on Wise to spike him down. And getting right into it here, both of these teams are pretty much still squared up. A little bit tilted towards the PeaceAndHarmony side, and I do mean that as an advantage towards Cell. They are swayed towards the PnH base, which of course is where Cell wants to be at the end of the game to kill the Guild Lord. So, just going to quickly check the back ganking routes of the map, and absolutely no action over there. So we are at an 8v8, or I guess we could say 7v7 when you consider the flag runners up here at the flag stand area. And in fact, looking at the morale boost, that is at about 60 seconds until a PeaceAndHarmony morale boost. Cell does get a flag in there. So PnH is a little bit ahead on flag running. The Fire Isle, due to the fire pits there, it is one of the longer flag running routes. However, it is definitely not 60 seconds. I don't know it specifically. I am not a runner myself, but I would venture a guess at around the 45-second mark. And that is to get it up to the stand, not, you know, the complete round trip. So the Celebrities are going to try and catch up on the flag running right here. As we see at 1 minute and 36 seconds, I'm going to check out Tass to see exactly where he is. And as you see, he is already up to that front fire pit right there. And I did mean the 45 seconds for the complete round trip, and not just the one-way trip to or from the base. And 13 seconds until, or I should say 1 minute 13 seconds, Tass is just about up to that flag stand. So, going to go ahead and zoom in over here, back in on the action, and see exactly what Cell's going on here. They do have a Warrior Assassin. He is going to be using Shadow Prism to step on over to whatever the target is. More than likely Frenzy up and Unleash Dismember, which he just dealt out right there. Probably a Critical Chop type deal, Executioner Strike. Yes, there is the Critical Chop right there in on Real Big Fish. Big Fish seemed to have pre-prodded himself right there. A very, very quick reaction, if not. And Saki is also going to be using Sprint to overstance the Frenzy. And right there we have a Telespike in on Melissan, and that was easily protected by PeaceAndHarmony. And I would venture guess that most of that protection right there is from those Paragons. However, a big area of effect spike went down on PeaceAndHarmony right there. Got number 1 all the way through number 5 down to about 60% health. And right now the monks are working through healing up that damage. And that would have been coming off of the 3 Mesmers of the Celebrities. More than likely, every single one of them used Spiritual Pain, which of course is a area effect spike spell. And right there was another Spiritual Pain, Warstrol's Demise spike right there. But looking over on the Celebrities, Devon, the Paragon Warrior, wasn't feeling too healthy. At about 50% health, but he's doing all right now. Both these teams just continuing to square up, continuing to flag run, and pretty much waiting for one team to make that fatal error. Drop a Monk, drop a Paragon, And after that, they should be able to push heavily into them. However, right now, it seems that Cell is feeling a little bit pressured right now, probably suffering on the energy department. Although when we look at the monks, they are both monk mesmers. So they are going to have quite beefy energy management. And also looking over on Peace and Harmony, they are running monk mesmers as well. Just going to get a beat down on Redneck to see what exact kind of energy management he does have. His elite is Zealot's Benediction, which of course is going to heal for about 180 health. And if your target is below 50% health, you will get that 10 energy that you spent on the skill back. Some pre-prots coming off there on Redneck. That was forced over on Edic just as soon as he got the little bit of damage, and I'm sure he did see Susie Shadow Step over to him, which inspired that protective spirit. Actually, as I'm seeing, Redneck, he so far has not used any sort of energy management skills whatsoever. In fact, he hasn't used any skills from his Mesmer line, which I really can't see him using any other skill than an E-management. Also, when you look over at Peace and Harmony, if he does have something like Power Drain, he's got 2 Dervishes and a Mesmer to eye up and Power Drain from. Cell right here, though, as we look at them, are sort of getting backed into their fire pit and in not too much of a good position. That back line is going to want to sort of shadow themselves over towards that top retreat route from the flag stand. Gonna go ahead and eye up Ericlaire as Phantomaire has gone down on the Celebrities. Ericlaire is shortly shaded towards that top S-curve route into their own base. But if they get pushed into that low fire pit, that is definitely no good news for the Celebrities. They'll get crippled in that fire pit, they'll be lit on fire, and Peace and Harmony can easily punish them if they can sort of corral them over that way, or they'll force them to push into Peace and Harmony in order to get over to the top route into their base. Looking at Phantomaire right now on the Celebrities. Again, getting a lot of hate, although they seem to have switched targets over onto Wise. But the Cell backline doing a pretty good job of keeping on top of these spikes coming off of Peace and Harmony, despite them being pushed back off of the flag stand. Just spine in over on Susie. I am curious to see if he does indeed have a Shadow Step skill. His elite is Avatar of the Melender, so it definitely would not be Shadow Prism. And to be honest, I don't think there are any other Assassin Nightfall skills which would enable him to Shadow Step over to an opponent. So I'd be very interested in seeing what exact Assassin skills he does have in his bar. If any. He might just have picked Assassin because he's not using any sub-job skills and wants to sort of convey that illusion to his opponents that he does have that shadow stepping capability in his bar. And that does seem to be the case. Just going to go ahead here and get the spy in on one of these Paragons for Peace and Harmony. Shobu WTF does have a couple defensive skills right here. He does have Spear of Lightning to help on spiking. They're on fire as well. and Angelic Bond is his elite. So right now at 10 minutes and 25 seconds, still shortly waned over to the Celebrity space, but so far they are able to keep up with the pressure. They don't seem to be as hurt in the energy department as they did seem in the past. Going to go ahead and get a gauge on Flaming, the runner right now for Peace and Harmony. And they are incredibly high up on flag running. It wasn't but 10 seconds after Celebrities capped that flag stand that Flaming was right there to cap over that stand. And especially with Cell being pushed back off on the flag stand a little bit, they really don't have the resources to do a dual running or anything like that to catch up on that flag running. However, it's not all too much of a big deal. Peace and Harmony could make a play on the flag runner for Cell and secure themselves a morale boost that way. However, Flaming, I very much doubt has any kind of offensive skills, being an elementalist, and also with the reduction on E-management for Light of Deliverance spamming. He really doesn't have any kind of offensive capacity in him. He might have some blinding surges that he can dish out, however that is not the case because Light of Deliverance is indeed his elite. But nevertheless, I'm sure he does have a blinding surge that he can dish out to impede Saki's ability to attack Peace and Harmony, but really that is the only melee on Cell, so having him up at that stand really isn't going to provide them with all too much of a benefit. Gonna go here and get a spy on Toss, the flag runner for Cell. He's pretty much running the same build, Light of Deliverance spammer, with the Elementalist sub-job. More than likely running Glyph of Lesser Energy, although, especially with Light of Deliverance, I'd probably doubt that if he has any kind of E-management, it might be Ether Prism, although I haven't seen that too much, and not to mention Ether Prism is an elite, which really wouldn't help out, or really would be impossible with Light of Deliverance as his elite. And also with Light of Deliverance only being 5 energy, Glyph of Lesser Energy really isn't going to help him at all. So he's probably rolling with pretty much the same thing. No E-management, just spamming out Light of Deliverance at 5 energy. And dealing out some blinding flashes. And then a whole lot of protection skills. As well as healing. Gonna go ahead and get a drill down on Devin right here, see exactly what he's running. Now it looks to be pretty much the same thing as Shobu. Go for the eyes to get that critical attack. Brace yourself for some added defense. Area of Zeal for healing. And, I mean, pretty much the way these teams are designed with the heavy defensive capabilities, as well as primarily being spike-oriented, and I'm sure that these monks have an infuse somewhere. We're pretty much going to be in a gridlock until victory or death. It's going to be very, very hard for either of these teams to make any sort of play on their backline, or even, as I was going to say, on the NPCs. Looking over at Saki being that warrior assassin, he could try to do some trickery with Shadow Prism, but really not too much. He could use it to, or he could just push through the back line of Peace and Harmony, trying to attack an archer, and then on his way back use Shadow Prism to get back to the front line of Peace and Harmony. But to be honest, I really doubt that they are going to try to do anything like that. They're just going to hold up here at the flag stand, skirmish, try and drain the energy of their opponent, and see if they can make some sort of play at victory or death, either by rushing the Guild Lord or killing the NPCs as they come to them. And I'm sorry, I did say earlier that the Area of Zeal was for healing. I was thinking of another skill. Area of Zeal actually is going to give you energy whenever you use a spell. And again, both Devon as well as Shobu are running that skill. Devon is also using Incoming as his elite that I had yet to see. And that's going to reduce all damage on your team by 50%. However, that was recently nerfed, and the duration was decreased, and I do believe that the recharge was increased as well. So that is going to provide momentarily some protection on them, but it's nothing to rely on. And if the opponent can time exactly when those incomings are going on and going off, they can get a spike through very easily. Checking out the other members of Celebrities, I do see that Wise has a Paragon sub-job. He might have incoming as well, but as we see right there, his elite is Energy Surge. So there is only going to be one copy of incoming, and no sort of incoming chain coming off of the Celebrities right there. Going to go ahead and get the drill down right here on Stirrup. In fact, he is running Angelic Bond alongside Shobu, which is pretty interesting to say the least. Of course, Angelic Bond is going to divide the energy or the damage done on a specific target between that target and you. It's pretty much like a Paragon form of Life Bond, except for it is not a maintainable enchantment, and instead it is just considered a skill. It is not even a shout or an echo or anything like that. And in fact, Stirb Kitten right here on Peace and Harmony was spiked down by these Celebrities, and that's going to force Peace and Harmony to back up off of the flag stand a little bit. And Cell's going to get to pretty much even ground here at the flag stand. But we are at 18 minutes and 48 seconds. Both teams have had one kill apiece, I do believe. And I really don't see the situation changing at all for either of these teams. And as you saw right there with Stirb Kitten, you saw a whole bunch of Angelic Bonds right there. 37, 38, 39 damages on Angelic Bond. So pretty much they are trying to spam off Angelic Bond on as many people as possible. The recharge time is 5 seconds, and the duration is 30. So, I mean, you're seeing that Angelic Bond counter go up to the 60s now, which is really going to subvert a lot of the damage being done on any specific target. And again, it is damage. So say if they were to be going up against a degenerative team, that would not be dividing the degeneration onto those paragons with the Angelic Bond, or even the life-stealing, as Sasaki, he does have a life-stealing weapon, so any of the life-stealing that is done onto a target is going to go straight on that own target and not get divided to the Paragon with Angelic Bond. And right here, just past victory or death, the Celebrities made a strong play on Real Big Fish. However, Peace and Harmony was able to resurrect Real Big Fish very quickly and get him back up. Right now at about 20 minutes and 43 seconds, these NPCs are making their way up to the flag stand. And Cell has firm control right now of that flag stand area. Their NPCs are going to be able to get into position before Peace and Harmony's archers are. And right now we see a whole bunch of AoE damage going off on that bodyguard right there. There was a whole bunch of spiritual pain wiping off the bodyguard of Peace and Harmony, as well as damaging the archers that were adjacent to that bodyguard. So right now we see Cell does have firm control of that flag stand area. And their bodyguard is spamming all of that, that fire goodness at that choke point. So it's going to be incredibly hard for PnH to charge into Cell without getting all of that additional damage from the bodyguard. And as we see right now, Susie, one of those frontline characters, tried to charge in there and get that bodyguard down. But with all of the additional pressure from those NPCs, and with those monks wanting to hang back as far as possible from all of that fire spam, Susie was cleaned off before he could get any heals. And at 22 minutes, both Susie and Shobu were resurrected back at the base, and they will have to charge all the way up to the flag stand. It looks like they're going to be charging up low, and they're right now thinking against that, as many of their Peace and Harmony members are fleeing. In fact, they are fleeing low, so we are going to see Tarnia fall. He wasn't even into that lava pit area, and they are going to punish Real Big Fish as well as they try and flee across that lower lava pit. And especially with all that fire spam going off on them and the cripples as they go past that fire pit, we see pretty much half of Peace and Harmony fall. The other half of Peace and Harmony right now is eyeing up the back of their base and charging across those back lava pits to try and get a gank on the Guild Lord. Looking in over on the majority of the Cell, right now they are engaging in on the Guild Lord. They have 60 seconds to get that Guild Lord down, and especially with the spiritual pains, they should have absolutely no problem to get this Guild Lord down very quickly before the base res happens. Guild Lord right now is at about 25% health and will be cleaned off at 23 minutes and 21 seconds. First round goes to Cell. Second round should be coming up very shortly. Thanks for tuning in. This is Rob Consley of Radio ITG.